Hey you! You're watching a clip from the DynamiteGizmo podcast. This is not the full episode, but if you want to see the full episode, make sure to click the link in the description. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Do it now! Here's the clip. Alright, there was one other announcement that Mr. Nathaniel Whiteth made. And that is this. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Yay! Yay! Yeah! We finally got one of the three major fights that we've been looking forward to this year. We know Ilya and Islam's not happening, at least not now. All right? So cross that one off. It's gone. Not happening this year. But we got DDP versus Khamzat. We got DDP versus Khamzat. Yeah, yeah. Now we just need John Jones versus Aspinall. So a little while ago, it wasn't that long ago. It might have been a month, maybe 3 weeks ago. I don't know. Someone started to spread a rumor that Dricus was severely injured and the matchup was going to be completely off the table until next year. Remember that? That wasn't too long ago. We were all pissed and scared and like, we keep getting shafted over and over again. But it was completely false. And we all believed it. And we believed it because of the amount of disappointments we keep getting. It was not unbelievable. It was completely possible. It was like, oh, of course Dricus is injured. You know, that's the way it felt. But Dricus, the brilliant man that he is, he stayed quiet. And he let the rumors just fucking spread and build, only to eventually come out and say this. What do we got here? Okay, so everybody had their opinions, rumors, and stories about a shin break and injuries, etc. I found it all very entertaining. Unfortunately, none of it's true. Myself and the UFC already discussed a fight date and opponent. The June fight was never signed. I did not pull out of any fight. I am the champion. I know when I fight you as a contender. Just show up when we tell you to. Fight announcement coming soon. Stay tuned. And guess what? We got that fight announcement last night. What a relief, baby. We got it. You know Dricus would come through. You know he would. And like I said, at least we're getting one of the three. We're getting one of the three matchups we've been waiting for this year. Just like the second John Jones and Tom Aspinall get announced, it's like, oh, okay. I can relax. Then it's like, I don't give a fuck what else you throw at me. Obviously, keep giving us good stuff, but just let's get that. But we're not talking about that. So, Dricus is going to face Khamzat in Chicago, of all places, for UFC 319. Khamzat's finally getting out of the fucking Eastern Hemisphere, and he's coming to the West, to the good old United States. Finally, baby. It was always up in the air on whether or not he was going to get his visa shit figured out, but looks like he's coming. The UFC hasn't been in Chicago since right before COVID. It was in 2019 for UFC 238, Henry Cejudo versus Moraes. So Chicago's getting a real fucking treat for this one. They're getting real spoiled. Okay? We just have to hope that Khamzat pulls through and doesn't get some sort of fucking illness or miss weight again, because you know he likes to do that. We've missed some fucking potential greatness on multiple occasions simply because of Khamzat not coming through. Between December of 2020 and March of 2021, Khamzat was scheduled 3 separate times within that short span to fight Leon Edwards, and all 3 times were canceled due to Khamzat suffering from an illness. He just kept getting sick. Now, mind you, it's like, okay, the guy's sick. It's not his fault. Whatever. Okay? But then in September of 2022, Khamzat was scheduled to fight Nate Diaz on a main event. Okay? This was huge. This was massive. It was one of the biggest high-profile fights we've had in a while. Headlining a main number card without even a title on the line. There was no titles on the line. That's how big this was. And Khamzat came in at the weigh-ins 8 fucking pounds overweight. Screwed the whole fucking thing up. And then he just gave everyone the finger and was like, fuck you, I don't give a shit. So the UFC had to scramble and they had to bring someone else high profile in because they don't have a title on the line. So they have to do something. And luckily Tony Ferguson came in and they did that instead. Still a great fight, but fuck, man. That was their last opportunity to see Khamzat and Nate, and it squashed. It'll never happen again, ever. We'll never get to see that greatness. That is my number one biggest disappointment. That is the one fight that I wanted to see more than anything, aside from Khabib and GSP, but that's whatever. But this was going to happen. The Khabib and GSP fight was never established. That wasn't going to happen. Khamzat and Diaz was ready to go. They got all the way to the weigh-ins. And he was 8 pounds overweight, dude. It was so fucked. They still put him on the card. He was the co-main event against fucking... what the fuck's his name? How am I forgetting his name? You know who I'm talking about. Black dude who's super active. Kevin Holland. Oh, so we'll never get it. But anyway, that's not the only thing Khamzat did. June of 2024, Khamzat was going to fight Whitaker in Saudi Arabia, and that also was going to be a main event. It was a fight night, though. It wasn't a main number event. But again, Khamzat developed an illness, and he had to back out. The crazy thing is this only happens when Khamzat has to headline events. This only happens when he's headlining. When he's not headlining, he's totally fine. But the second he has to headline a card, he gets sick or he's overweight. What's going on? So we can't get our hopes up completely yet about Dricus and Khamzat. We have to stay on our toes right up until the point that they step into the octagon. Because who knows what the fuck's going to happen. And you know what's funny about all this is Dricus. Okay. So, look at this. So, it was announced that Nasruddin Imavov is the official backup for Dricus versus Chimaev. Okay? And then Dricus posted a story, said, guess I'm fighting Imavov Nasruddin. So he's in on this whole joke too. He gets it. He's like, fuck, dude. Khamzat might not show up. And I'll tell you what, if Khamzat doesn't show up for this fight, or if he's overweight or gets sick or some stupid shit happens, fuck Khamzat, dude. He's so good. Khamzat's so good and so entertaining to watch fight. He's so good. It just sucks that this has to happen every time. But we'll see. We'll hang in there. But we know Dricus is good. Because when it comes to Dricus, okay, he has withdrawn from a couple fights early in his UFC career. But one was due to an injury. Okay? Fine. Guys get injured, but he's only had one ever. And the other time he had to back out was due to visa issues that couldn't allow him to leave or get into the country. But other than that, Dricus has always shown up, and he's always dominated. So we don't have to worry about Dricus. We do not have to worry about Dricus. Both fighters going into this matchup are completely undefeated in the UFC. Khamzat being completely undefeated overall, he's 14-0. And Dricus only ever lost 2 fights, and he has 23 wins. But in the UFC, Dricus is also undefeated. Okay? So if all goes well, if all goes the way it should be, if Khamzat makes weight properly and gets into that octagon, Chicago is in for a fucking banger of a main event, dude. Even if the undercard is going to be trash, which very well may be the case, but like I said at the beginning of the episode, you never know what's going to happen. Even if you go into it think it's going to be a trash card, shit could turn around and fucking be amazing. Okay? But with that being said, there are some fights that you know there is no way this is going to disappoint. And that is this fight here. Dricus versus Khamzat. There is no way, like if that fight actually happens, if they both get into the octagon, there is no way that is going to disappoint. No way. And that's a guarantee. It's one of those fights. Okay? And at the beginning of this year, my middleweight prediction, my middleweight title holder prediction was Khamzat. I said Khamzat's going to take it. Now, as it sits so far, with all the title matches that we've had, I've been completely wrong with all my predictions. I've been right about the fact that certain people were going to go for the belt. I was right about Diego Lopez actually fighting for the belt, which we didn't know that was going to happen in January. But I predicted that he would at least fight for it, but he didn't win. And every other prediction I made didn't happen, didn't win. Even fucking Alex Pereira. Okay? So, I've been completely wrong. I'm 0 for however many titles we've had so far. So, let's see if I can at least get Khamzat right. But we'll see. Yeah, so like I said, Imavov is the backup fighter. So if Khamzat doesn't go through, we know we have our guaranteed backup. Now, I like Imavov, but man, it would be a real disappointment if Khamzat can't go in and we get Imavov. Still be a great card. Still be a great matchup, but fuck.